You can see my chicken behind me. There are 1,000 of them, and today marks their 11th day since I received them into the brooding house. Welcome to my Ghanaian Dream Challenge. Today is the 3rd of December 2025, and I want to show you how much I have spent of my 100,000 Ghana cedis. Have I exhausted everything, or there is still some left? If I have exhausted everything, how much more do I need in order to get my 1,000 layers into the lay point where they lay eggs up to the point that I wouldn't need more money outside, but then to depend on them for everything from their own feeding to their medication to the labor to water and everything that has to do with the care for them, and for which I will also be estimating whether I'll make profit or I'll make loss. So this is what I'm going to be giving you today in my video. It is my Ghanaian Dream Challenge. I believe that with the poultry who you guys suggested to me, I will be able to make a living off it. In fact, a comfortable living. So let's go through the expenses so far. As I mentioned to you before, I sold my car and a piece of my land to generate 100,000 Ghana cedis for a purpose, but that purpose was bunched. That purpose was abrogated, for which reason I started looking around for where I will put 100,000 Ghana cedis in order to be able to make a reasonable amount of returns, in order to live a decent life in Ghana and not having to think about traveling anywhere, and also not thinking about doing any form of illegality at all. So you guys suggested to me to invest the 100,000 Ghana cedis into poultry, which I listened to you. In fact, you suggested various forms of businesses, but based on my analysis and the volume of message that came arguing for poultry, I decided to go into poultry and layers. I decided to invest the 100,000 Ghana cedis into layers, 1,000 of them. Though arguments came that 100,000 cannot do 1,000, but I got the consultant who said that I should push and push with the 100,000, and maybe the 100,000 actually will not be enough, but I will have to look elsewhere to add in some money. So now, after about 4 months of receiving the advice and putting up the structure and doing everything, including receiving of my 1,000 day old chicks, this is how much I have spent so far. So for the housing, as you are aware, I spent a total of 42,277. But since then, I have added the electrification, the wiring of it, and the getting of energy bulbs, so which has now increased the cost of the housing to 44,414 Ghana cedi, 97 pesos. Then the brooding house also cost 1,714 Ghana cedis. 1,714 Ghana cedis. So the brooding house, as you know, it contains the covering, partitioning of the entire structure into 3 and taking one and covering it, also using a thick polythene sheet to cover so that cold wouldn't enter, and then also putting brooding paper on the floor, putting sawdust, among others, in order to ensure a conducive environment for the birds. So including brooding lamps. So these that I just mentioned constitute the 1,714 Ghana cedi. That is a brooding house. Then also I spent a total of 16,237 Ghana cedi, 30 pesos on feeding. Okay, actually medication is not part of this one yet. Medication is not part of that. So we have only feeding, giving us 16,237 Ghana, 30 pesos. So this is for the feed, magic feed we bought, including the half a ton of magic chick mash we prepared, in addition to the 40 bags of maize we are buying for our chicks. And this actually will take up to 6 months, which the consultant suggested. So that amount is what constituted up to 16,237 Ghana cedis. Then we went to medication, sanitation, and hygiene, including all the medications we bought, alicerol, glucose, and the vitamins and what have you, including coccidiosis medication, then vaccination for gumbro, among others. So we also bought some disinfectants and some hygiene equipment, including what's the name, a knapsack sprayer, among others, just to ensure that there is proper sanitation and hygiene, and also our chicks are given the proper medication. So far that has given us a total of 2,197 Ghana cedis on medication, hygiene, and sanitation. The next most important is feeders and drinkers. Feeders and drinkers. So we have a total of 4,315 Ghana cedis. So the drinkers and the feeders are for a lifetime of the chicken, even longer. And these are the drinkers, and these are the feeders. So we also have the drinkers, including these particular automatic drinkers, and then the ones they are using inside, the 3-liter drinkers, among others. Then the feeders too. There are some plates that they use, and then some plates and some trays that they use in the brooding house. So all of that constitutes the 4,315 Ghana cedis. That is what we have for feeders and drinkers for 1,000 chicks. Then we come to business registration and signage. So the total of 920 Ghana cedis is what we spent on the registration of the business and then putting a signboard. So as you are aware, we roam around and struggle so much until we had a business name, and then at the end of the day, we're able to register Buzaza Farms as our business name. Then that's and the signage cost 920 Ghana cedis. Then came construction of our underground tank to ensure that we are able to get reliable supply of water. So the underground tank, as you can see, maybe from far away, when we finished constructing it and did the measurements of everything, if we are to feed it to our birds, they can drink it for almost 2 months. Even though washing of their drinkers and feeders will be there, but for drinking alone, our birds will do that. Our birds will use it for up to about 2 months, and that is actually very good for us. Underground water tank cost us 12,435 Ghana cedis, even though we still haven't been able to get money to deck the top. But the works we have done so far, 12,435. Then came the purchasing of the day-old chicks. 1,000 day-old chicks, the transportation, the actual cost of the day-old chicks, and after the time they get into our brooding house, we spent a total of 21,709 Ghana cedis, and that is how much you spent on purchasing the day-old chicks from Kuipers and transporting them from Accra to Tamale into our brooding house. Then social media, doing this video, the equipment and many other things we bought, including ensuring that we boost it to get to you and many others who may need information or those who may have information to share with us. We spent a total of 14,488 Ghana cedis. We bought a laptop, we bought advertisement, among others, totaling a total of 14,488 Ghana cedis. Now, labor, we also spent money. We are spending money in the taking care of our birds. So that particular one, so far, it is myself and my family who are involved in it, but very soon we are going to get. So now labor is the most important thing that is next. So far, in order to be able to learn how to take care of the chicks, I have volunteered my time to take care of the birds in order to learn everything that has to do with how they can survive, how they can prosper and grow very well. So my family too have been supporting me. So in terms of labor, so far it is zero. However, very, very soon, as the Christmas is over, the New Year is over, and my family members, some of them will be going back to their workplaces, I will need to get someone to help me. So I will be looking for somebody to engage the person to help me in taking care of my 1,000 chicks. So if you add the housing, 44,414, brooding structure, 1,714, you add feeding, 16,237, you add medication, hygiene and sanitation, 2,197, you add feeders and drinkers, 4,315 Ghana cedis, you add business registration and signage, 920, underground water tank, 12,435, day-old chicks and transportation of them to here, 21,709. Then social media, internet, and branding, 14,488 Ghana cedis. When you add all of this, you are getting a total of 118,430 Ghana cedis, 27 pesos. So this amount of money is actually higher than my 100,000 Ghana cedis I got from selling my car and my land. So where did I get the remaining money? The difference of 18,430 Ghana cedis is money I picked from my savings. So I picked 18,400 from my savings, added it to the 100,000, making it 118,000 so far. That has gone into this particular expenditure for my 1,000 chicks. So I need a total of 41,760 Ghana cedis to be able to feed my chicks from now until they lay. As I mentioned already, I have some half ton of chick mash which I'm feeding the chicks. I also have some 40 bags of maize. I also have some little concentrate and some soya and some oyster shells. So the remaining amount that I will need is 41,000. However, I am selling my shares in one of my businesses, which will give me about 20,000 Ghana cedis, and then also someone promised me 800 cedis, which will add up to 20,800 cedis to make it a total of what I'm expecting into my accounts very soon. So if I subtract that from what is needed for the remaining 6 months, I will need a total of 20,960 Ghana cedis to feed my chicks. So like they say, this is actually where I needed, or I need a lot of support if government has really come through with this promise on the Feed Ghana to support commercial poultry farmers with day-old chicks. So I wouldn't have spent 20,000 in getting 1,000 day-old chicks. Government would have subsidized it for me. Then now the chicks are here. Will government support me with some feed as the program promised? Will government support me with some medication as the program promised? If all of these are able to come true, I wouldn't need a total of 41,000. I would need a little less. And this is what will really help us to grow and stay in Ghana and not travel abroad with the little we have in our hands. So if you can help me in any form to get the remaining balance of 21,000, or if you can help me, connect me with anyone within the Feed Ghana program, that is Akokwan Kizinkiti program, support me with feed or medication, I'll be very, very grateful. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, do so, because we are just starting. Thank you so much, and see you for tomorrow.